Today I'm going to begin this video with a dream that I had. I received a very big message and I would like to share that dream with you. Hello my dear brothers and sisters, welcome to Paradise. I'm Ismat. You know, when you are dreaming, it's not so cohesive. And so bear with me when I'm describing the dream as I'm jumping from one frame to another. After I describe that dream, I will give you the interpretation of that dream that will lead me to the subject of today's video. Before I get started, there are a few things I would like to say to my viewers. If you are regular on my channel, then you have noticed that I have stopped replying to your comments. I used to reply to all comments, and at one point I realized that there are many people who don't understand what I'm saying, and they do have some strong opinion about those matters, and that's okay. That's perfectly all right. That you are leaving those comments and you are expressing yourself. It's important that you do express yourself. The thing is, it's not possible for me to try to make you understand something if you are not ready to understand that. In the past, I was replying to both positive and negative comments. So if I stopped replying to those negative comments, and if I'm replying to the positive comments, what happens is that I am creating discrimination, and I don't want to do that. Because to me, all of you are very special, and all of you are my love, and I'm here for you, for all of you equally. So therefore, I stopped replying to even the positive comments right now. But I would like to say that please continue to leave your comments. I do read them, and I love to hear from you. There are those that are coming to my channel and reading these comments. You always have something to offer to the world, no matter what you say. Your opinions, your feelings, you are expressing yourself, and you are bringing a message for all of us, even if it is something very negative. Through this negative, there are some messages are coming to us. So let's talk about that dream that I was talking to you about earlier. So in my dream, I see myself in a restaurant. It's a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant, and there I was with my daughters. My eldest, she's 7 years old. So she was playing, and as she was playing, she lost one of her earring, and that earring, I see that it's a star earring. And it's a diamond. It was shining and star, and it was beautiful earring that she lost, and it was very expensive. And then I see myself, it's in a different frame in that dream, that my daughter, she's older right now, right now, and she is about to get married, and there's all the preparation, and she is going to get married. But she had to find that earring. So then I jump back to that restaurant. I see myself there. I went to look for that earring, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I was talking to the manager of the store, and I was telling her that my daughter, she had lost this earring. And she was listening to me, and she's like, oh, okay. I was in her office sitting and talking to her. As I'm talking to her, she's looking at some paper as if like she's doing some paperwork regarding what I'm saying, you know. And then I see there are other employees that are coming in, and then they are talking to the manager, the same manager. And I just didn't want these employees to be like interrupting our conversation between me and the manager. Then there were few employees came, and then I was kind of getting annoyed by them, and I was just thinking that their problems are solved, they need to leave. And then they left. in the meantime, this manager and I, as we were talking, I was there for like about 2 hours, sitting there very patiently and talking to this lady. And she was a big person, and her skin color was dark, not too dark, but dark. But at the end of our conversation, so after 2 hours later, I was telling her that, so what are you going to do? That she lost this earring. I've been telling you that she lost it and she needs this earring. So she was saying that, what? I wasn't even listening to you. I was I was reading a magazine. Then I see that this paperwork that was in front of her is not really actually any paperwork that she was doing to help me. It was just some papers, some magazine. She's relaxing and reading this magazine. And I paid attention, and then that's what I saw. And then I was like, what? I have been waiting for last 2 hours so patiently, and then she stood up. Then I see that her skin color, now I see her skin color was no longer dark. It was more like white skin color. She had these blisters all around her neck, like scabs, blisters. She had some kind of disease, and it was all around her neck. And when she stood up, and I was not afraid, but I was feeling I had to maintain my face, that I'm not reacted by it. Okay, so I see her that she stood up, and then she said that there is nothing I can do. And then I was getting mad at her. I was getting angry, and then I started yelling at her and saying that, what? I have been waiting for this last 2 hours, and you are pretending that you are listening to me. You weren't actually listening to me. My daughter, she lost her earring. Now she cannot get married without that earring. Who do you think you are? You did this. You are the one who did this to me. You told me to wait, and I was waiting, and now she cannot have this earring. She cannot get married. And you know what? You cannot be just doing this to people. You need to be responsible for what you are doing. You are going to pay for it, and you are not going to get away with it. And as I was telling her this, I see that she's not in front of me anymore. I see her sitting on the ground, and this ground is all muddy, and she was covered, half of her body was like in this mud, and her eyes they were closed, and she's just sitting there as if like she's not listening, or she has nothing to say, or she doesn't care, and she's just sitting there and she's just listening but not saying anything. And after I yelled at her and I said, you're gonna pay for it and all that, and right away I said, oh my gosh, why am I yelling at you? I shouldn't be yelling at you. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be yelling at you. I'm sorry about that. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. But she's not listening to anything that I'm saying. She's just in that position, sitting on the mud, and her eyes are closed, and she's just like a statue. And then I woke up from my dream. So now let's get to the interpretation of that dream. You see, through our dreams, the more connected we are with our spiritual side, through these dreams we get lots of messages, and we are able to interpret these dreams more clearly the more we are connected to our spiritual side. You cannot hear yourself, you can know. And so through this dream, God was giving me a message. So when I'm seeing myself coming to this Chuck E. Cheese restaurant with my daughters for them to play there, that Chuck E. Cheese restaurant is the representation of the earth. And my daughter playing in there, that means daughter, first of all, they're children, right? And children, they make mistakes. they're playing around in that restaurant. It's a representation of me in my small human form, okay, that is ignorant of my wisdom, of my higher self or my spiritual wisdom. Seeing myself from my higher vantage point, and I'm seeing myself as the children, and I lost one of the earring. When I saw that my daughter, she lost one of the diamond star-shaped earring, so that means I lost my purity in this world. So the Chuck E. Cheese restaurant is a representation of the world. That daughter is a representation of me as a child or as a human who is ignorant of her spiritual wisdom, and she is playing. Okay, so the play part is when we come to this earth, our life is a script written by our higher self, and we are here to experience our purity, to experientially know that we are that pure light. And in order for us to know that, these experiences of our life, that is a written drama scripts by our spiritual self, and as a human we are playing a role with other human beings on earth. And as I was playing this role, what has happened is that I have lost, just like my daughter in my dream, she has lost her that star-shaped diamond earring. There's something very expensive, right? That's what I lost. I lost my purity as I was playing this role as a human being. The star-shaped earring is a symbol of purity. In our pure state, each one of us exists as a star that we see in our night sky, existing light years away in higher dimension. And now, when I was seeing that she wants to get married and she's getting all prepared to get married, what I'm seeing in there is that she is ready to marry, but she cannot get married without that earring. That's the other half, because there are earrings, there are two, right? So she lost one of the earring, and that she needs that in order for her to get married. So she lost her purity while she came to this earth, and in order for her to get married, she needs to find that purity. The marriage signifies the return of a soul merging back to its higher self or God self as one. When I'm talking to this manager, so what is this manager is representing? She is the one is in charge of that restaurant, right? The manager. This person, this manager, is a representation that she is the negative energy, the one that God created, or Satan. He has the authority of this world, right? Note that Satan's authority is only valid as long we are in ignorance. Once we awaken to our God self and our wisdom, then Satan is powerless and obedient to our will. And then this Satan was promising us that it's going to help us find that purity. Okay? Except after 2 hours later, Satan is saying that, well, I cannot help you with that. Okay. So at that point, I got angry at that lady, or so I got angry at Satan. Okay, that hey, you promised me all this, and now you're telling me that you can't, and if I can't have it, that earring, then my daughter, she cannot get married, and you're not going to compensate, you're not going to help me. So I was getting angry, and I'm blaming this manager, and I'm coming to for coming to that restaurant. It was my choice to bring my daughters and to play there, yet I am blaming this manager for it, for her losing the earring. So it is me, I am the one who actually came. What if I didn't come? You see, so I needed to be responsible for myself, but I was blaming this lady, the manager, and I'm asking her that she's the one who needs to be responsible to pay for that earring or to find that earring for me. So that's what we do. We come to this world and we lose our purity as we are living our human experience, and we are blaming who? We are blaming the Satan for everything that's happening to us.
Understand Satan's role in our life on earth.
These blisters around her neck and this scabs, these are a representation of her, the Satan, being hurt. Okay, so why is the Satan hurt? Because we don't accept Satan. We look at Satan in a very negative way. Okay, we blame Satan for everything, and that is and when we are blaming, because remember, Satan is ignorant.
In our pure state, we are wise. The opposite of that purity is impurity. While on earth living our human experience, we are ignorant, and therefore we do the impure things out of ignorance.
We do the negative things in ignorance, don't we? If I knew that something is bad for me, would I do that? So the fact that I'm able to experience something negative, we are able to do that with the help of Satan. And after doing that, we get hurt and we realize that we are going in the wrong path. But if we are blaming Satan for it, we are hating Satan for it, and then we are hurting that energy and we're not accepting that energy. That energy, that satanic energy or the negative energy, helped us realize our light. So when we are hating it, we are hurting it.
And since Satan is a part of me, when Satan is hurt, I too am hurt. And if I am hurting and suffering, then I'm still experiencing the negative.
And when we are hurting it, we are not accepting it. That is when we are also get trapped in that same negative energy.
Since Satan or impurity is a part of me, when I'm not accepting Satan, then I'm also not accepting a part of me. And without accepting all part of me, I cannot be whole. And if I am not whole, then I cannot return to my higher self or God self as one.
And if we are not accepting a part of us, just like that earring that I lost, that's our purity. If we are not accepting that part of us that done the wrong thing or have gone through the darkness, then we cannot find that purity. Remember that even these experiences, these dark experiences that we had gone through, these dark experiences had made us realize about our light. Therefore, we need to accept gracefully whatever we have experienced. We need to accept that Satan is a part of us. Both purity and impurity is a part of us.
Both purity and impurity are part of the divine. For this reason, the masculine energy is called the divine masculine and the feminine energy is called the divine feminine. Everything in the universe came from God or created by God, including Satan. Therefore, for us to return back to God, we must accept all of God's creation equally. If we don't accept a part of God's creation, then we are also saying that we don't accept God, therefore unable to return to God.
Okay, without that impurity, the purity does not understand its meaning as pure. So that's why, in order for us to find that purity, we need to make peace with our impurities, or we need to make peace with Satan. We need to stop blaming Satan. By blaming Satan, by not accepting Satan, we stay trapped in this world, this third dimensional world, and we won't be able to ascend to the fifth dimensional earth. Okay, so in my dream at first, when I was seeing this manager, this lady, she was dark skinned. And then at the end of our conversation, 2 hours later, after I was being very patient, then when she stood up, I saw her, she was lighter skinned. The interpretation of that is that I have made peace with Satan, that what has happened to me, all the pain and suffering and the hardships that I went through, I made peace with them. So I was no longer looking at them in a negative way, whatever has happened to me in my life. I was working on myself, that I was being patient with many things that has happened. It is a process through which I recreated myself as the pure being that I am. And that's why I was seeing her in white skinned. After 2 hours later, being patient, I was seeing her that she had the white skinned.
I shone my light on the dark part of me, the part that suffered emotional, verbal, and mental abuse, physical torture, and many other negative experiences that I had endured in my life. Where does the Satan get his energy from?
When I was yelling at her, I was getting frustrated, and I was telling her that she has to pay for it and all this, and she was like a statue. Like she's like, there's nothing she could do for me. So just like that, Satan cannot do anything for us. It promises us that it's going to give us this, that, and all that, all the promises, all the glitters of the world, all the promising things that the world is promising us, that we'll have everything. But actually, Satan's job is to just keep us trapped, wasting our time in this world. Just like she wasted my 2 hours of time. So that's what it is, that when I am getting angry, I am getting frustrated, and I am blaming her, all I'm doing is getting trapped in Satan's energy. Because being negative, anger is negative, frustration, and the fact that I was yelling at her, these are all negatives. As you know, as we go through life, we go through a lot of things. We look back that we have done so many things that made us get lost, and sounds like very stupid things that we did. We cannot change our past, so we get angry because we cannot do anything about that, and that this has happened. Why did this happen to me? Why? We get angry at some of the decisions we made that made us feel this, vulnerable, made us feel this pain and suffering. If we are getting angry, we're getting frustrated because of those experiences, then we continue to get trapped in Satan's power. We are trapped. We cannot get out of this earth.
How to find the way out?
When I'm saying that my daughter wants to get married, the daughter and me, the relationship is that, okay, is in terms of energy. Because when I'm saying I'm my daughter, that daughter is my negative energy, and I myself is the positive energy, so the masculine energy, and I'm looking at my daughter is a feminine energy. Okay, and that's a creation of me, because whenever we get involved into any kind of darkness, it's our creation. I am responsible for everything that negative that happens in my life, like the negative things that we do. and my daughter needs to get married, that means she needs to purify herself, right? Before she can get married.
In other words, the daughter is the part of me that experienced the feminine energy on earth and lost her purity.
She needs to find that purity. Remember that earring, the star earring, she needs to find that. That means she needs to find her purity if she wants to belong to me, or because the feminine energy is a part of the masculine energy. Remember, Eve is a part of Adam, just like that. Okay, the feminine energy is a part of the masculine energy. These two are always going to be together. We understand our meaning as light because of the darkness. Therefore, this darkness will always be a part of us. But this darkness, just like in my dream, did not have any power.
It didn't have any power to give me anything. Its only job is to lure me and making false promises to fulfill my journey into the negative earthly experiences.
Right? Because it's my creation. It did not have any power. So I cannot blame the negative energy to be responsible for what has happened to me. I have to take the responsibility that it was my choice to come to this world. It was my choice to do the negative that I did. Okay? Yes, there were stupid things that I did, and that's how I was walking in the darkness. I didn't know that I was going in the dark path. I didn't know what was ahead of me. I was walking in the dark, and then I stumbled, I fell, and then I got up, and then I started walking again, right? So I realized that this is not the way for me to go. This is the wrong way. I need to go to my light. So in order for us to go to that light, to find that purity, we need to appreciate that we had gone through the darkness, and we cannot blame it. Just like I couldn't blame that lady who was the manager of that restaurant for my daughter losing her earring. It was my choice to come to that restaurant. It was my choice to come to this world. It was your choice to come to this world, to choose the impurity, and you experience that impurity. Now, in order for you to find your purity, you need to make peace with those experiences that you had gone through that were very painful.
Being peaceful is the medicine that you'll need to heal your emotional wounds. Once healed, then you can view your traumas as just experiences and be able to release those painful energies.
We all go through painful experiences of life, and nobody is an exception. These pain, these sufferings, these are all designed so that we can find ourselves back to our purity. And we need to be thankful to those people who have brought this pain and suffering into our life. Because without those experiences that were brought by these people, we wouldn't be able to find our light. The reason I can find my light is because of those experiences. So I need to be thankful not only to my feminine energy or the darkness or the Satan. I need to be thankful to those souls who have volunteered to be a part of my life's play. This is a play, remember, these are all drama on this earth. That person played a part to bring me that experience that can help me to come back to my purity. Therefore, I need to be thankful, not angry at that person, not hate that person, not wish that that person go to hell for what he had done. then I am not making peace with myself. So I need to be thankful to these people, and I need to be thankful to these experiences, these dark experiences that had brought me here to my pure state. You have come to this higher version of you because of those dark experiences, because of those people who have done the dark things to you. A lot of negative things are happening in the world right now. And when you see them, if you feel frustrated, as I talked in my last video about this, you get frustrated, you get angry, and you want to penalize them, you want to hurt, or you wish they would get hurt. If you are doing that, look what's happening. It's all about you, how you are feeling. That means you are losing, you don't have peace of mind. You did not make a peace with your past. You did not make a peace with what happened to you. And that's why you cannot make peace with what you are seeing around the world. So you see, whatever the negatives that you are witnessing around the world, at one point you went through them yourself. Not in this lifetime. If you don't remember doing this in this lifetime, you have done this in your past lifetime. And you are into this purity right now because of those experiences. Okay, so therefore, when you are seeing somebody else is doing something terrible, make peace with it. You cannot do anything about it. The only thing you can do is control how you feel. And that's all you need to find your peace of mind. Once you learn to control your emotions, these negative emotions that rises, you need to control them. And once you control them, that is when you have attained your peace. And this is how you are finding your purity. I had that dream, and through that dream I got this message. I too, like you, I was born a human being, right? Just like you. I too have gone through a lot in my life, a lot of pain and sufferings.
Be true to yourself to heal yourself.
Why do you think that I had that dream? At times, I have been working on it, and I was getting angry why this has happened to me. For a very long time, I was questioning why did this have to happen to me? And then after my awakening, I realized why everything happened. But that was just a realization that, okay, this has happened, and I cannot be looking back. And I knew that I had to make peace, but I had to prove that to myself that I actually have attained that peace. How? By being peaceful every time I was reminded of those past experiences. Every time I remember something that has happened. And you know what? After my awakening, this keep surfacing up again and again and again for me to make peace with it. Not for me not to get angry at them and say, it's okay, it was just an experience. It's easy to say, but how you're feeling, that's all that matters. So if I am just saying that, oh yeah, it was just an experience, as is fine, and then in my quiet moment it comes up, and then if I am feeling frustrated and I'm feeling angry and I'm reliving those emotions for what has happened to me, then I didn't find my peace, did I? And I cannot blame the Satan. I cannot look back and say, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? You know, so we cannot go back and relive these negatives. They are gonna come up. When they do come up, when they surface up, all those feelings, then you need to tame them. Realize that this is just an experience. You are on this earth, you are just having an human experience. It has nothing to do with your truth as an eternal being.
Put behind your human experiences and recreate yourself as the spiritual being that you are.
You have to train your mind to accept this truth. You cannot just say it and then feel differently. You have to say whatever you are saying, it has to match with how you are feeling. And it's okay. Many times you're gonna fail. These emotions gonna come. You're gonna cry. You're gonna get angry. You're gonna feel bad about your decisions that you made in the past. But just say that it's okay. I needed these experiences. I am the one who chose to come to this earth to experience all this so that I can experience my light, who I am and where I belong. I belong into the light, and this is just my creation. This is an experiment I just did here on earth. These are not my truth. So that's all. That's all for today in this video. Like I said earlier, I would love to hear from you. So please go ahead and leave your comments, express yourself, and you are important, and everything you say and do is important, and you are very special. I love you all. I'll see you in my next video.